It's Megyn Kelly time now, and never one to shy away from a fight. Former US President Donald Trump has launched a massive £416 million lawsuit against lefty MSM mouthpiece CNN for comparisons to Hitler and Nazism. Trump filed the suit in a district court in southern Florida by citing various times since 2018 that the woke channel had defamed him by linking him to the German dictator, Chairman Mao, Russian corruption, and even leading a cult.
Trump is as destructive a person in this century as Hitler, Stalin, and Mao were in the last century. He may be responsible for many more million deaths than they were.
You can draw that line between a cult leader and the attributes of a cult leader and the attributes of a authoritarian leadership like Donald Trump.
More of the same from Donald Trump and this administration, who sow the seeds of division, and I can't even characterize that as a dog whistle. It's so far beyond that.
Oh, yeah, it's him sowing the seeds of division, yeah. Taking to his Truth Social platform to announce the case, Trump said CNN waged years of libel and slander against him, but ramped up its recent attacks because it fears he'll run again for the top job in 2024. He said it was finally time to hold, quote, fake news CNN responsible for its behaviour. But Megyn Kelly, it is notoriously difficult to win a defamation case in the US, especially compared to here in the UK, notably because of the First Amendment upholding free speech and the freedom of the press. So is he pursuing this case because he genuinely thinks he will win, or is it to make a political point against CNN?
It's the latter. There's not a lawyer, not a serious lawyer in America who would say, without some massive U.S. precedent being overturned, that Trump could win this case. We do have the First Amendment here, and we have a lengthy history of Supreme Court precedent saying you cannot win a defamation case if you are a public figure unless you can prove that the person printed lies about you with actual malice like in their heart, understanding that it was false or having a reckless disregard for it being false. So this is why very few public figures ever bring a defamation lawsuit, because most people can pass through this standard in hurling accusations against a public figure. But I'll tell you, Dan, the most important speech, the speech we protect more than any other kind of speech in this country, is speech about a public concern, a matter of government, speech about a president. And there's no chance that the Supreme Court is going to say, oh, I think Donald Trump is like Hitler, is anything other than a protected statement of opinion. That's a separate lane of defense for anybody. You can say it wasn't true, or I didn't know it wasn't true, or I didn't say it with actual malice. Or you can just say, that's my opinion. I think he's like Hitler. And you can skate. So he is going to lose the case unless they overturn New York Times versus Sullivan, which is the seminal case on the First Amendment jurisprudence. And I think Trump's lawyers know that. He's trying to make a point. He's trying to get you and yours truly and others to run the sound bites that we just ran, to show people how extreme these people are.
Well, I was going to say, Megyn, can you just explain to me what the hell happened to CNN? What has gone on? Because it's become so extreme.
I can tell you exactly what happened to CNN because I watched it happen, and I know a lot of the people there, and I experienced it. Trump basically caused Jeff Zucker, who was running CNN for the past 15 years, to lose his mind. Jeff Zucker worked with Trump in launching The Apprentice, the show that made Trump rich, and they used to be, in simpatico with one another. They were making each other rich. They were making each other stars at their respective organizations. And then Trump ran for president, and Jeff Zucker, who rode Trump to record ratings in the beginning of his campaign and loved doing so, thinking he was a joke, had a very different opinion once Trump actually won. And Trump kept picking on Jeff Zucker because he didn't like their increasingly anti-Trump coverage. And Jeff Zucker, rather than taking the high road and remembering that he was a television executive, not a schoolboy being bullied on the 8th grade playground, took the bait. And he turned all of his anchors who were previously respected, maybe not the most respected, but respected as somewhat neutral, actively against the sitting president of the United States. They were open about their agenda. They not just hated him, they hated the right half of the country and were very explicit about how they thought that anybody who voted for Donald Trump was a racist. That appeared over and over on their statements. They don't think just Trump is Hitler. They think his followers are Hitler lovers. And the right half of the country and anybody in the middle just tuned out in droves. Now he's gone. They have a new management in. They have a new ownership in. And the directive is try to steady the ship. Put your hands on 10 and 2 again. Stop. It's too late. It's too late.
Well, yeah, but also, Megyn, they are still obsessed. They are still obsessed with the man. Anytime I'm flicking through the channels after my show, right, at night, which is prime time in America, every single day they have a headline on Trump up on screen. They're not talking about the fact that their current serving president is quite clearly dementia-plagued.
Oh, well, they don't want to talk about that. But I think that's ratings driven. Right now, it's ratings driven. Of course, if you're going to talk about Trump and you're on CNN, it will be negative. They cannot course correct on that. They hate him too much, too deeply, and they've already telegraphed it. So, I mean, to be honest, how would they possibly do a 180 on him? It's like Chris Cuomo left the network and joined another network and is trying to do that now. And that's even more false than the ones who are still at CNN just owning their hatred of the guy. But they want to keep talking about Donald Trump for two reasons. Number one, he rates. You put him on TV, you put on a rally, you put on a Q&A, you put on a rant. It rates. Trump is highly entertaining. He is a ratings machine. They all know that. But secondly, the midterm elections are a month away. And the more focus on Trump, the lower the Republicans' numbers are going. So CNN, while it may have a different direction from up above, its anchors, its producers are as left as they come. And there's only so much moderating they're willing to do.